welcome to the Nocturnal Space Workshop. I'm Trej, and I was just having a bottle of wine with my wife Amelia, and while we were enjoying this bottle of wine, an image came to me. It was the image of a statue that had been defiled by the forces of chaos, and they've lopped off its head, and in the place of the head of this mighty hero of the Imperium, instead they've placed the skulls of the innocents that they've sacrificed to the dark gods. Doesn't that sound awesome? That's what I want to make. Also, where the statue is like standing on a mound or a plinth or something like that, I want there to be like a portal that's opening up underneath, and so I want to make some kind of glowing portal. So I want to make something with a light inside, and that's what I'm going to make today. First of all, for the statue, oh wow, landed standing up. How often does that happen? Okay, here's an Inquisitor 54mm miniature. I got this as part of a bundle on eBay, and I think that is a perfect starting point for the statue. It's already got the head missing a two. However, someone's already painted it. I want to remove that so I'm not losing any of the detail. So I'm just going to pop it in this jar and pour in some isopropyl alcohol. Just need to give it a good slosh around, let it soak, and that paint will soon drop off. Now it's been soaking a while, just going to use an old toothbrush to gently remove that paint. The isopropyl alcohol doesn't affect the plastic or the resin, so you don't have to worry about damaging it. So you can really get in there and give it a good scrub. Now it's been cleaned up a little bit, I can see there's actually some green stuff that's mashed into it as well. I'm not too concerned about that because, well, it's going to look like it's been covered in moss and stuff over the years anyway. However, where that's been pinned, it doesn't line up unless you have it turned that way, but then the blade is pointing the wrong way. I'm not sure if I can live with that. I don't know, is that the wrong way? Does it look okay that way? I can't make my mind up. No, I can't live with it. There's no way on earth you're ever going to get the perfectly aligned hole, but if you make a slightly larger hole, then that gives you some wiggle room. I've just realised I was that concerned with making sure that the top part of the halberd was in the correct place. I didn't realise there's actually like a little, energy thing on the bottom, and now that's no longer aligned with the top half. Okay, so I'm just going to chop that off and then realign that, and then that fixes both problems at the same time. I'm sure I'll find that. While I'm chopping things up, I don't actually want him to be standing on this base, so I'm going to try to remove him as carefully as I can without damaging the actual feet of the model. I should have done this before I glued the bottom of the halberd back on, really. Did it? What I'm actually going to be standing him on is an egg carton. Just the one though. Oh. So here's my egg carton that I've cut in half. The plan is, have that down there like that's going to be what the statue is sitting on. And then inside I'm going to be using this to actually light it up. You've seen these, they come out at Halloween. So that's going to be inside there, then I just need something to cover it. I think I'm going to use this as the framework. So now I've cut that down to size, that just sits in there. I just need to give that some kind of coating so it can still be transparent in some areas and not so transparent in other areas, so the light can shine through and it'll have a kind of ethereal glowing effect, like there's some, some kind of evil presence that's emanating from within. But what do I cover it with? I think I'm going to use some UV resin for this. Remember to use the nitrile gloves that you steal from the first aid box from work, because it is an accumulative irritant or something like that. I don't know, I heard Adam Savage say it once. He can explain it properly on his UV resin video. Now the UV resin is holding that securely in place, I'm just going to go ahead and give it a liberal coat all over. I think I need something of a larger base for that to actually sit on, so I'm just going to use a piece of cardboard, and I think I'm going to stick that to that. But first of all, I want to make a hole that's large enough for this to fit in afterwards. Basically that mounted on that with a hole in the bottom, and then I can just stick that underneath as and when I want to actually use the light. These are the worst scissors ever. So I want it to be a little bit larger than that overall, so if I just make a general shape for it, that should work. I'm just using UV resin to actually stick it down. Just blob it on, stick the UV light on, and that's it. It sets almost instantly. I just need something to get it, stuck in place so then I can work on it. Okay, so the statue is going to stand on top like that. Obviously the light's going to be on the inside there. In fact, let's just check that that fits. I lost my thumb. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that fits. So I can just leave that out, but I can put it in if I want. The statue's going to sit on top like that, and I want there to be like bobbly bits on there, like there's growths or something bubbling out of it. So I'm just going to use this and the UV resin again to make some little hemispheres that I can stick onto the top. I really need to get myself a big UV lamp because I'm just using this little torch at the moment, and that's like making it a very slow process. Sure I can get a couple at the same time though. To stick these in place, I'm just going to put a little blob of UV resin on it, and then just pick a place to stick it on, and boop, that's where it lives now. Okay, that's now bonded and it will stay there forever. Cool, just need to do that another 11 times. So I've used all the ones that I've made, and as you can see I've covered up about half of it, being careful not to get any on this particular thumb here. But I do want the little bumpy things to go further down, so I'm making a couple more. You know, it's probably not the best way to actually glue it, but while I've got the UV resin on the go, I'm going to use it to stick the statue onto the base. Hello again. It's the next day for me. Today I managed to get to the shops, and in the shop I found one of these. Another tea light. However, this tea light changes colour. And I figured that's going to be a lot better inside the model than the other one that just stays like a dull yellow glow. That's going to look awesome. Let me show you. Look at how cool that looks. I think that looks absolutely awesome. It's going to look fantastic on the gaming table. And you know what? It'll probably take a pretty picture too. But that gives you an idea also of how the light is going to refract through these lower ones compared to the upper ones. If you get the camera down lower, you see how the light is mostly at the top, because of course the bottom of the tea light is the plastic chamber. It's the top where you actually get the light. But you do get some light shining down below. Okay, that's going to be awesome. Let's crack on. If you remember, I said the idea was that his head has been removed, and then the skulls of the innocents that had been sacrificed to the dark gods, the skulls have been placed in there in place of the head of the hero. So I need some skulls. Luckily, I've got some skulls. Bear with me a while I clip off some skulls. First of all, I'm going to use a bit of milliput. Just a foundation. Milliput loves superglue. Or maybe it's a superglue that loves milliput. Who knows? There's definitely a relationship there though. The reason I'm putting this in there first of all is because I need something as a foundation for the skulls to actually balance on, because there's quite a deep cavity in there. Now milliput bonds with superglue instantly. So I just want like a tree stump sticking up in the middle, and then the skulls can go around the side and go on. So each skull, I'll just put a little dab of superglue on the back, and then when I stick it into place, that will stay forever. So far so good. I'm really liking how this is coming along. I put a little bit of milliput, you can see on the back a bit more clearly, in between the skulls as well, so it looks like they've actually used some kind of mortar to bond the skulls together. Just a little bit, because some of the skulls looked like they were defying gravity basically. The other thing that I wanted it to look like a dead landscape. So I've got some twigs that I can use as like dead trees. So if I just add a couple of twigs here and there, I've even got some bristles from an old sweeping brush. At this sort of scale, that can look awesome as like some kind of weird foliage or something. Now that my little dead trees and things are in place, I want this to look like it's actually bursting out of the ground, so I want it like a dirt effect. So I'm going to use my usual dirt concoction, which is poppy seeds, ground coriander seeds and peppercorn, and of course a lot of bicarbonate of soda. And that's how I make my all-purpose dirt mix. My original idea was to make it look like a small hill, like a mound, and just have the dirt continue up the back of it. However, the shape of the eggshell, it's too prominent. It doesn't really work. So instead, I'm going to make it look like a rock. So I'm going to use Das clay for that. In fact, I think it might have gone off altogether, to be honest. I've often heard people talking about how if you mix green stuff and milliput together, then you get the best of both worlds without the downside. I don't know, something like that. But I've never actually tried it, so I figured this is a good place to actually try it, just so I can see what the consistency is like. So So I've ended up with more milliput than green stuff, but there's roughly an equal ball of green stuff and milliput, and let's mix these two together and see what it's actually like. I'm sure you've seen this before. Just going to shut some tin foil, and then you use that to make your stone texture. Try not to leave the bits of tin foil stuck to it. I had some leftover putty, so I decided to add some tentacles. Okay, and I'll just leave that to cure overnight now. It's now been a couple of days and the putty is absolutely rock hard. However, while that's been setting or curing, the cardboard, I kind of figured this might happen, is kind of curving up at the edges. Now, I wasn't particularly happy with it being so flat anyway. I always wanted it to be raised off the ground slightly, like a base. Because this is an objective marker, it's not just a piece of scenery, you know? So I've cut out some rings of EVA foam so I can stack those up together. And once stacked, the whole thing can sit on top of that, and it makes it into a nice base. And because they're rings, there's plenty of space for the candle to sit inside, and that still sits on top. Now the rings are in place, I decided to just go for 2 in the end. Once I've got all the overhanging cardboard off, I'm going to go around with some milliput to tidy it up. And once again, just allow that to cure. Now the milliput's all cured, I'm just going to add a little bit more of my all-purpose dirt just to finish off the texture, and then I think it's time to paint. Okay, so I was just giving it a spray prime, and then I realised I'd made a mistake and I'd forgotten to actually mask off the orbs that the light is going to be emitting through. So then I made a little video showing, oh look, I've made a mistake. Unfortunately, I forgot to actually switch on the mic, so that had no volume. So, 2 mistakes. So what I did is I got some isopropyl alcohol and I simply wiped off the paint, and because the paint was still wet, that wiped off really easily. And then I used some liquid masking, which you normally use for watercolours and stuff like that, and masked off the orbs, so then I can re-prime it once that's dried, and then peel off the liquid mask afterwards. It's like liquid latex, that kind of thing. So once that's dried, I'm going to go and prime it, and then it'll be good to paint tomorrow, hopefully. Hello, I've had a haircut. Shall we check on the model? Well, it has now completely dried. As you can see, some of the paint has obscured some of the finer details on it. That's partly because I used cheap spray cans, but also I ran out of the black partway through spraying, so I had to grab another can. You may notice it's a bit of a blue tint. That's because the second can I picked up was actually a dark blue. Never mind. I've also acquired this little blob of what can only be described as umska stuck to one of the tentacles. I've no idea what that actually is, but it's just extra detail now. Now that it's been primed, you can't really see the milliput between the skulls either. It really does just look like a pile of skulls. You can see that paint's really shiny actually. That's just no good for priming a model with. Must make a mental note of that for next time. First of all then, I'm just going to use some cheap black acrylic paint to give it a wash with. So this will act not only to cover up the blue and darken it, but hopefully it'll take some of that shine off as well, and help the actual modelling acrylics to stick. I want it to look like the statue's made out of like solid bronze or something like that. I just want it to look like it's metal, and then that'll contrast the skulls on top. I thought that evil chrome fitted the theme of a defiled, chaotic statue. I'm just going to use a brick to dry brush it. Can't see on the viewfinder if the camera's picking it up, but the little pillar that's on the back, I gave that a dusting with natural steel. Then I gave a light dusting of the same natural steel over the top of the evil chrome, just to give it a little bit of a contrast. I'm just using a little bit of Vallejo's earth brown and a small dry brush, and this is just to add a little bit of a base colour, and then I'll go over with a lighter colour to bring out the boniness of the skulls. And I'm going to do the same on the actual dirt itself. But with a different colour rather than a lighter bone colour. I've not decided what yet. I'll make it up as I go along, which is how I normally figure out my colour schemes. The skulls really pop now that I've dry brushed the off-white over the top of the earthy brown. I used the same off-white on the stones below for the base, and then for the stone he's standing on I just used a grey. Now the brown that I used underneath as a foundation, you can't really see that. It's not like it's a strong brown that's shining through. It's more of a case of if it wasn't there you'd notice its absence, if you get what I mean. And now that's done, I'm going to use a watered down flesh wash for the bony parts and possibly for the metal as well, and then the strong tone for the stone. Now just give everything a light dry brush of those same colours again. I really want to focus on the skulls though, that's the main thing. Once everything else is painted, I really want the skulls to be the thing that stands out on the model. I'm just using that same Vallejo earth brown to paint the tree, and then I might dry brush it with a couple of different shades of green or something. You know, like it's got moss or something growing up it. I'll probably do something similar for the grassy bits too. I want the tentacles to look like fleshy tongues or something like that, so I'm going to start off with a darker red. In this case, I'm using chaotic red, and then I'm going to build up through pinks and so on. I've been painting on these little stripy lines just to give it a little bit of texture. I wasn't sure originally if I wanted them to be smooth tentacles or, you know, ribbed. I was actually thinking of just like sponging or dry brushing on the you know, shades of pink, but I don't know, something inside me decided to do stripes. So I've gone around each and every one of these tentacles painting lots of little stripes on. And this is just the first pass. To be honest, I hadn't really given them much thought at all. After all, it was something I just made up to use up the excess green stuff, but now I think they really kind of make the model. Can't wait to get it finished now. Yeah, sticky. I'm just taking a bit of gloss Mod Podge. It's getting a bit old now. I'm just applying it neat onto the tentacles so they come out looking really gross and wet and slimy. Oh, see how they're picking up the shine? That looks gorgeous. I think I want these bits. So the orbs that I want the light to be showing through eventually, I think I want those to be really shiny as well, so time to take off that latex and I'm going to cover those in the Mod Podge. Wow, now I've taken that latex off, it just completely comes alive with the light shining through. That's cool. Okay, on with the Mod Podge. I'm not too concerned about being neat with this because, well, I'm actually going to be putting like there's ooze dribbling down the side, but I'm going to colour the Mod Podge for that part, but I want clear Mod Podge on the actual orbs themselves. If you've seen my Chaos Space Marines, on the bases they have like blood or bloody kind of liquid covering them, and well, I want this to be showing or giving a hint of where that blood's coming from. See, if it's pouring out of these portals, then that's why my Chaos Space Marines have all got on their bases, because they're fresh out of the warp or something like that. It'll make sense once it all comes together. I hope. So now these are all covered, I'm just going to add a little bit of normal red and a little splash of fluorescent red. Probably throw in a bit of water from the watering pot as well. Oh, that's way too much. Add a bit more Mod Podge to the mix. I can never get this mixture quite right. It's a different consistency every time. I just want enough red that makes it look gross and bloody, but not so much that it actually paints everything. Okay, let's just stick it on. Stop hesitating. So I just need to let that dry now, and hopefully the colour will fade a little bit as well. I want it to be a bit more transparent than that, but if it stays that colour, that's cool too. Then I just need to tidy up the base, and I think that's just about done. It's easy to forget that on the inside, it's just cardboard and EVA foam. And to think, this all just came from a random idea I had while I was having a bottle of wine with Amelia. Maybe we should drink wine more often. Nah, I'm only joking. I'd rather stay sober than I can make cool stuff like this. Okay, here's a gallery.